Hello, my creative friends. It's Rama, and I wanted to show you, this is my little book. I didn't do anything to the cover yet, but this is the book that I'm starting my art journal in. So I have my video first that I did on how I prepared this book, because look how nice and flat these pages are after being glued together. This is nice, right? So I wanted to show today my first page that I did, and this was Mixed Media Monday. I'm catching up, so this is an ongoing project that Lauren DiDonato does a prompt, and this prompt was anger. This was very out of my comfort zone. Once I figured it out what I was going to do and got going, it was very therapeutic. So I show in the video how I do everything. I started out, I really didn't know what I was doing. I just started because breaking in that first page is kind of overwhelming, a little intimidating, and I had no idea what exactly I was going to do when I first started. I just started putting color down. So I show that process. The only thing I don't show in the video is the words here. It's pretty easy. I just cut them out. I had some scrap paper. I cut the red out and wrote the words down, and then I used Stabilo and water, you know, to make the messy marks. And I also used my white paint marker to make some dots here. So I'm very excited. This is my first page. So I'll hold it close so you can see here. So first page done. I do have some other little things that I made, and I did them on little pieces, so I just glued them into this book so they're all together. This was hearts. I don't have videos for these, but I wanted all my Mixed Media Monday projects to go in the same book. So hearts, and then this one was bloom. Oh, and this one was memory. This was kind of late at night. I wanted to just do something but not make too much of a mess. It was in between projects. And when I saw this memory, I thought of dressing up when I was younger. I loved to dress up. I have twin daughters. They have always loved to dress up. Sticker, the Karen Bradley from her artwork. And I thought, oh my goodness, that sort of looks like me a little bit. So I just put it with this Tim Holtz doll and some wings, and I did some splattering, and we have some dyed paper underneath here with a frame. So this is my first spread though in the book, and if you are new to art journaling or just want to explore some mixed media techniques and things with me, you can, everything is going to be in a playlist. My art journal, I think I called it, playlist, so you can kind of follow along. And I would love to see what you're creating also. Come over to Junk Journal Divas. Let's inspire each other. And now I'm going to show the process of how I did the base of this page here. These are sheets of the parchment paper that I used when I was gluing the pages of this book and preparing it. So I just saved those and put them under my pages that I'm working on today to protect the rest of the book. In here, I was going to grab some scraps, but and I did grab a few things that were on the top, but I wanted to just take one of the book pages and add some color to it. So that's all I'm doing with my oxides here. And then I thought, let me use a paper towel because I wanted maybe to add that for texture. And I do add, I think, a brown color I bring in just to add a little different colors to the paper towel. I also have this tea bag, and these are just the random pieces of scraps that I grabbed, a map and some other things. I really like the text and the pages in this book, so at first I start covering it up with gesso, but then I realized I really need more scraps to put down, just to have a lot more texture and things going on underneath. Here you can see the tea bag that was hanging around my desk, and then I'm just taking that book page that I added the color to and a couple of other pieces here. And I also bring in that paper towel that I love using paper towels lately. Now, if you're watching this and like me, you're relatively new to mixed media, I can say one thing I've learned definitely is drying in between all of your layers and your steps. You've got to make sure everything is nice and dry, especially when you get the paint and things that you're working with. Usually when I'm doing this kind of stuff, I use my Mod Podge and my silicone spatula, but I don't know, this glue was sitting here and I just didn't grab my Mod Podge today. So now that I have my page covered more, I am doing the gesso on top. And of course, my fingers are always my favorite paintbrush. And you can see here is the paper towel. I thought this would add some fun texture underneath. And I just kind of press this down into the gesso because it's wet still, but I do add a little bit of glue underneath some parts just to make sure it's gonna hold there. So here I'm just adding more gesso, and what gesso does is just add some, a seal kind of, so that you can add your paint and other water-based mediums and it doesn't make your page warp. Then, of course, this is one of the parts that we want to make sure it's really nice and dry, because after this, I want to bring in some color. I'm going to be having some water. This, I just added a piece of washi tape because I can't even remember what it said at the top of the book, but I could still see the text and I just wanted to get rid of that part. And here I have some mica powders, and I'm just kind of sprinkling some powders and then spraying with water to get the colors. And so far, I don't have an exact plan of what I'm going to be doing. I know the prompt is anger, and I already have been thinking about fall colors. So I thought this kind of went together, and that's all I'm doing is just sort of playing with color and adding it. And then I just get the idea of that you reap what you sow, and what goes around comes around kind of thing. What you give always comes back to you. And so that is what I write, the words that I add on at the end here. And this is kind of a mixture of things. I mean, I have the mica powders. I also had my watercolors that were handy, so I grabbed them and started playing with them. At the end, after I add the words, I also play around with my paint markers and water-soluble pencils. And these are pieces that were left from my hole punch cutouts, and I just grabbed those. I love making borders around things, kind of framing it, so that's what I'm doing here. And now you can see the red paint marker I used, and I also put the words down. Thank you so much for watching, and more art journal pages coming up soon.